Welcome to Creativity Unfiltered. Today I'm chatting with the lovely Tasha. Tasha creates amazing fitness-related content over on TikTok. She's recently branched out into YouTube Shorts, and she's got a lot of insights and information to share when it comes to short-form content. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast, Tasha. It's amazing to speak with you again.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And so me and Tasha actually met on a panel in London like a couple of months ago now, right? And we were talking all about influencer marketing and how that works in the industry. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do both in your day job and on a content creation side of things?
Yeah, sure. So in my day job, I work in digital marketing, but for like a tech company, and we like do like affiliates and influencer stuff. So that's quite interesting to have that kind of background as well as being a content creator, which I've been doing for the last 2 years. And I do like mainly like gym stuff, focusing on like gym humor and like gym community and that sort of stuff. My main platform is TikTok, but then recently I have been moving over to the Instagram and YouTube space, which has been exciting.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I am not at all, if anyone knows me, into the gym, but I love the comedy videos that you make. Like every time I see one, I'm like, yeah, I'm enjoying this.
Thank you. And like that's the goal, right? Because I feel like if I just did workout videos, which obviously like still do well and stuff, but like I feel like the gym comedy kind of opens up the gym to people that don't go to the gym, which is quite cool.
Watching your videos makes me realize that it's not actually scary. Like everyone in the gym is like a person, and even though some people come in with the headphones down, like you can have a chat and make it fun.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And that's honestly like one of the most like comments that I get is people saying, oh, like I'm too scared to go to the gym, like the gym is too scary. And I love having those conversations with people and then just showing them my videos and being like, it's really not. Like, get into the gym and you'll see it's not as scary as it seems.
And I guess, like, the more you go, you become familiar with the people going, right? And it's a bit of a community.
Exactly. And that's literally how you make friends. That's another question I get asked. Everyone's like, how do you make so many friends? It's like when you go all the time, you see the same people every day. It's like going to work or like, I don't know, wherever, but like you see them every day. So then you're eventually going to like start smiling and start being like, oh, what are you training? And then you just become friends. And I absolutely love it. It's such a good vibe.
I love it. And like, what made you start creating videos about it? Were you going to the gym prior to that? Was it already like in your life? And like, what made you switch and think, I'm going to film this?
So I feel like a lot of content creators say that it started in lockdown. But I did actually start in lockdown. So I was always going to the gym. I think I've been going to the gym for like maybe like 7 years now, maybe more. But then lockdown hit, and then obviously we couldn't go to the gym. And my friends were like, oh, you know, Tash, can you like help us stay fit? So then I started this like PT Tash thing where I would like get everyone online and we would do like HIIT workouts, which is crazy because I would never do HIIT now. But HIIT workouts, and like everyone loved it and it was so fun and I loved doing it as well. But then once the gyms opened, I was like, well, I need to get back in the gym. I don't have time for this anymore. So I got back into the gym and I was like, I was kind of missing that, like giving back. So then that's when I started like posting stuff. And then I just posted one random video one day. It was January, like 2 years ago. And then I just woke up to like 10K followers and I was like, wow, this is cool. Like TikTok back then, wasn't it? Like you could just post one video and then wake up like 10K up. So that was it. And then I was like, I should continue. And then I started posting every single day since then. And then, yeah, that's how I got to where I am now. So
amazing. So do you still post every single day?
I try to. So in my first year, when I first started, I posted twice a day every day, like without fail. Like it's like crazy to even think, like, how did I have the time? I have no idea. But like now I'll do like, I try and do like once a day. Sometimes I miss, but like if I miss, I try not to stress about it as much as I used to. But yeah, it's consistency is key.
How do you not like run out of ideas?
I know, right? Like now I run out of ideas because I feel like I'm like starting to plateau. But I just, when I'm in the gym, so I have my notes app on my phone. And when I'm in the gym, it just comes to me and I just end up like writing loads of like notes on my phone of like what ideas I should do. And then like what other people are doing. And like, that's the beauty of TikTok. You can see all these different trends and you can find like a trend that relates to like travel or like makeup and you can just find a way to relate it to the gym. And then that does well as well. So, you know, it's like all these different things that just pull in that works.
Have you also got the notes app like me where it's just full of like random stuff? Like anyone else looking at it would make zero sense. Sometimes it makes no sense to me when I look at mine. But I mean, it works. It gathers the ideas.
Exactly. Like I've got so many like random notes and it will just be like, you know, going to the gym to do this and blah, blah, blah. Like, I'll be embarrassed if anyone saw it.
So, like, other than posting 1 time a day, have you got, like, 1 time a day? That made no sense. Other than posting once a day, have you got, like, any other strategy that you've been following, especially when you've, like, moved over to other platforms?
So, like, at the start, I feel like I definitely had more of a strategy. And it was, like, you know, TikTok really loved the short form, like, punchy, trendy, like, putting some trendy music on the background. And then Instagram was this, like, perfectionist, like, you have to edit all your videos perfect, high quality, and things like that. And then YouTube was always what I thought was just long form. But then more recently, what I've just been doing is just repurposing, because now TikTok's changed. TikTok is like, they want you to be talking to the camera more and, like, showing your more authentic self and showing your personality. Instagram's now becoming TikTok. So now Instagram wants what TikTok had. And then I've been using the YouTube Shorts. So that's kind of just me repurposing my TikToks. And that's also been doing well. So I kind of just have been trying different things. And now I realize that I can just use the same video across all 3 platforms, which sounds crazy. And I'm sure things are going to change. Like, we know TikTok wants long form now. So I'm going to have to, like, adapt to that as well. But at the moment, I'm just kind of one thing fits all for now.
That's good. That was one of my questions. I was going to say, like, do you re-edit or do you just, like, repurpose? Because I remember when we spoke back in London, you mentioned that you were, like, I think you're on, like, 80K on YouTube just from shorts. You're now on, like, 200 or something, aren't you? I looked at it the other day.
170, but yeah.
Nearly. You know, it won't be long.
I know. I'm so excited. Just from shorts, which is crazy. I mean, I've done now, like, maybe like 3 or 4 long form, but the shorts is great because obviously that's what YouTube's trying to push. These platforms are all trying to compete with each other. So if you come in at the right time, and a lot of people were just doing the long form, so I feel like I came in at a really good time where shorts was kind of blowing up. So it's definitely a lot harder and the growth is definitely slower, but yeah, no, it's working for me.
It's good because, yeah, you've got a good, like, mindset, because me as, like, an OG YouTuber, like, I am in like, long form. So, like, doing shorts for me just felt wild and I just ramble too much. My brain's not wired like that. For you to say, like, it's good that you jumping on this new thing and saying they're pushing it, so I'm going to do it. It's nice and refreshing to have that attitude, because sometimes for me, I'm like, oh, God, it's another thing that I need to think about. Do you sort of have that moment sometimes where you're like, oh, God, there's something else I can't keep up?
All the time. Bloody hell, like, they're changing things all the time. Now I think, like, for example, on TikTok, there's now a new thing where you only get paid if your video's over a minute. That's annoying. Then also they're introducing, like, a landscape format. I film all my videos in portrait, so if I now have to switch to landscape, I can't repurpose. And even new platforms coming in, like, there was, like, Lemonade coming in at one point. I don't know what happened to that app, but at one point that was supposed to blow. So, like, people like, get on Lemonade. So there's so many things to, like, think about, and you always stay on trend and, like, do what works. But then, yeah, it is a lot to, like, manage and, like, keep on top of.
Do you find with the work that you do as your day job, do you see that they're also noticing this shift in, like, different platforms as well?
Yeah, no, definitely. That's what we talk about all the time. So I'd like to think that it gives me, like, a little bit of an edge, like, where I talk about it in my day-to-day and I talk about what's trending and, like, the sort of things that we need to look for as digital marketers. But yeah, we're definitely seeing the whole shift in the different platforms and seeing what works and things like that.
How do you manage doing 1 post a day, going to the gym as well and actually doing a workout and doing a day job? And recently you've bought a house, so you're, like, DIY queen at the moment.
Oh my God.
How are you doing it?
I have no idea. Honestly, I wish I knew. No, the thing is like, now that I've, like, purchased a place, like, things have definitely, like, slipped a little. Like, I haven't been going to the gym as much and, like, things like that, but just whilst I'm in the DIY thing. But then after that, hopefully I'll be back. But the thing is, it's just because I love it so much. And it's like, you know, when people were like, what's that phrase where people are like, you don't work a day if, like, it's something you enjoy or something like that. I love going to the gym. Like, that for me is my social life. It's my, like, my mental health therapy. It's, like, everything. So going to the gym fixed all of that. And then at the same time, I'm just filming. And a lot of my videos aren't always, like, curated or, like, thought about. Sometimes it's just me setting up the camera and seeing what happens. That, in a sense, doesn't feel as, you know, heavy workload. But yeah, to answer your question, how am I doing it all? I don't know.
It's just got to be done, right?
Yeah, exactly. You got to be done. And if it's enjoyable, then you find the time.
So in terms of, like, actually filming, what equipment do you use? You just have your phone and a little tripod?
Phone, a tripod, mics, because obviously that's what's trending now. And yeah, that's it really. I did get a camera. I invested. I tried to do that, YouTube girl, camera vlog lifestyle, but it's not really for me yet. I think I just don't know how to use the camera.
How did you find doing like longer form as well, like getting the camera and doing like more horizontal long form on YouTube? How was that? Was that a strange shift for you?
Oh my God, yeah, it was so tough. And I just find myself going, and then the more you do that, the more you have to edit. And then the edit process just takes so long. It's so crazy. And then you put in all this effort. Like, see, this is my issue. With TikTok, I'll put in effort to a video. And if it doesn't work, then it's like, okay, fine. But like with YouTube long form, if you put in all this effort, like sometimes it can take you hours to edit. And then for you only to get like 1K views. And I'm like, why did I waste all that time? Do you know what I mean? That's such a defeatist mentality, and you shouldn't think like that. But yeah, it does get me down sometimes.
It does make sense as well. And because like intrinsically as like viewers, people are watching short form more. So no matter how much YouTube's pushing and TikTok's pushing these like longer form, sometimes you just want that quick fix, right? Of just like, right, I'm going to sit on my phone for 10 minutes and flick through TikTok. Whereas if you want to watch, for me, if I want to watch a YouTube video, I'm already in the like mental capacity to think, right, I want to watch like a 30-minute vlog. That's like an episode of a TV show, it's like very different viewing.
Yeah, and you have to be like invested in that person to want to sit there and watch them talk for like 30 minutes. And I don't know if people are that interested in what I do. It's like, yeah, okay, we want to see her squat a man, but we don't want to see her sit there and talk for 30 minutes.
I suppose it's like a different way of building an audience, isn't it? Because you get like the fast growth, big numbers, and it's a little like, for me, my numbers are lower, but the people are like invested in me, my life, because I show like a lot more of it. So I guess in that sense, it's more of like a deeper connection, not necessarily in a good or a bad way. It's just a different kind of way. And yours is more like lighthearted, surface level. They get you, but they don't get you kind of thing.
No, and that's so true. And that's like what we're all talking about, like in the marketing world, about how you need to build a community and you need your followers to like be interested. And that's how you're going to like monetize stuff. And like, if you want to say, guys, like I tried out this really cool brand, like people will trust what you say more than they'll trust what I say, for example, because they're not as invested. So yeah, I do need to definitely like show my personality more and like build that community. But yeah, we're working on it.
How do you think you're going to do that? What do you think that'll look like for you?
I think it's just like talking to the camera, and I need to get more comfortable with that rather than just, showing me in the gym and stuff. It's literally like, oh, hey guys, this is what I'm doing in my day-to-day life. And, that way you'll really draw out the audience that actually like cares what you're doing in your day-to-day life and things like that.
You got to get past the initial cringe of like chatting to yourself and talking a lot.
Exactly. How do you do it? You need to give us the advice here.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because I need advice from you, like, how do I do it snappy? How do I do this? And then you were mentioning earlier when you said about cutting out all the ums and how much work that creates. Honestly, 10 years later, I still have to do that. I don't think that's a thing I've got rid of. I'm a bit better at now sort of having an idea in my head of what the long thing will look like and like recording according to that, but also the going back to like TikTok pushing its long form content and like the horizontal thing, do you reckon you'll try and like integrate that, or are you going to stick with the vertical? Because I've already said I'm in the state of like, oh God, it's another thing to think about. And you mentioned like if you turn, you can't repurpose. Like, what's your sort of standpoint with that?
I think that it would definitely have to be like a different type of video if I was to do landscape. Like it'd have to be like a gym vlog or something like that. It wouldn't be my usual gym comedy videos. And at the moment, I just don't think that I will do the whole gym vlog thing, just because that takes like a lot more like time investment, and which obviously because I'm like sorting out the new place and stuff, I don't really have that at the moment. But maybe when I have more time, and I'm actually working on getting my qualifications to be a PT. So once I've done that,
Amazing.
then obviously I'm going to need to like film more workouts and like do more things like that. But yeah, that's like way down the pipeline. So we'll see.
Yeah, it feels like they'd be more suited to like instructional, like informative videos. But then it just looks so wrong on TikTok when they're horizontal. I kind of almost wish they're not trying to push that because it doesn't feel like their thing. I don't know if I'm just stuck in my ways a bit, but TikTok's vertical, right?
TikTok's vertical. TikTok's short videos. We don't have attention spans to be watching long videos. And I just feel like if I wanted to watch a long video, I'd just go to YouTube. But
Exactly. So like if I saw the timestamp on a TikTok video that said like 25 minutes, I know you can't go that high, but I'd be like, that is way too long. That's too much of a commitment. If I saw a 25-minute video on YouTube, I'd be like, oh, nice. That's nice, quick, easy vlog viewing. Because sometimes I watch vlogs that are like 45 minutes. I think it's important for like the mindset of people, and TikTok need to remember that. I don't know. It's weird. I feel like they're all trying to be each other, like you mentioned earlier.
yeah, and it's annoying. And it's like, just stick with what you do. Other than Instagram, I like that Instagram's changing because I didn't like the whole perfectionist thing. But yeah, YouTube and TikTok need to stay separate and stop fighting with each other.
Hopefully that'll happen one day and they just realise, like, stay in your lane. It's fine to do what you can do well.
Exactly.
So, like, in terms of in the future, how are you hoping for this to progress? So you mentioned you want to do PT work. Have you, like, already had brand deals and things working through TikTok videos? Like, is it a career kind of goal?
So for me, like, everyone always asks me if I would like want to do this full time. For me, that's not really my end goal at the moment, just because I like what I do in my 9 to 5. Obviously, I just got a place, so like with my mortgage and stuff, I like to be like that secure person. So at the moment, it does just feel like a hobby with my content creation side. But that doesn't say like if it blows up, then, you know, I would definitely like probably prioritize it. But at the moment, I'm quite comfortable doing both. I have been getting brand deals from like my TikToks and Instagram, not on YouTube yet, but TikTok and Instagram. So I work with Gymshark and another brand called Define. And I've been working with them for like quite a long time now. So that's quite nice. But yeah, I think long term, it's just keeping things going as long as I can, doing the online coachings just so I can give back. And like, I have so many people asking me like, oh, do you do PT in? Like, can you send me workouts and stuff like that? And I always feel like so bad being like, I'm sorry, like, I don't have anything to give you. So hopefully I'll be able to give back in that sense. And yeah, we'll just see what happens, to be honest. I'm just going to wing it.
Yeah, that's the best way. Just wing it, because even if you planned it, it wouldn't work out as you planned. So
exactly. That's it.
Do you reckon you'd do like maybe guides and like digital downloads and stuff? Because that's getting pushed quite a lot on TikTok now, isn't it?
Yeah, I've seen people pushing that. I don't know. It's tough because I've never bought a guide myself, and I don't know like what it consists of and like what actually people want. So once I'm qualified, I'm sure I'll do like some sort of like market research. Just ask everyone like, what would you rather get from me? I do want to do the one-on-one like online coaching because I think that is so rewarding, and like seeing everyone's transformations, like that will just be like life goals for me. So that is something that I want to do. But yeah, maybe the programs and stuff, or maybe even get my own app. Like, who knows? The world is my oyster.
Going back to like the brand deals, I remember when we were on the panel, we were talking a lot about how they look differently for you and shorts, and how like the brief kind of looks. Like for me, for example, my briefs as a long form creator are like, got a few bullet points to hit, but do it in your own style. Like, call it out as an ad when before I start, I've got to say this is an ad. How does it look for you on TikTok?
Oh, it's definitely like way more chilled. Like, I think you'll remember me saying like, I don't get any briefs. So, like, I might get like one if there's like, you know, a Valentine's special, like Black Friday special or something like that. But pretty much do what you want. Here, like, there might be rules. So like Gymshark has a few rules about like, you know, sounds you can use and like things like that. So there might be a few rules like with that, and like, you know, only wearing the brand's clothing when you're doing an ad for them or something like that. But yeah, they just kind of let me run with it, and that's what I love because I know my audience. My audience doesn't want to see me like sit there and like recite some like 5-page script. They want me to do, you know, like go in the gym, do my gym humor, squat men, and do random stuff like that, and just like promoting the clothes and things like that. So yeah, I like the fact that it's quite chilled and that I can just do what I want, really.
Do you ever like call to action it and say like, by the way, this set's from XYZ?
Yeah. I do sometimes. So like I'll have like a set requirement of posts per month, and I'll do like some of them. I'll be like, oh guys, like try on haul, buy this, buy that, whatever it is, use my code. But they never do as well, as you can imagine, on TikTok and things like that. But it's, you know, the viral videos that I'll do, and then they'll be like, oh my God, where's your set from? Like those end up doing like better, like the less kind of obvious ad stuff. Because I feel like people are just smart now. As soon as they see you doing a haul or like an ad, they're like, you got this for free, we're not going to listen.
Do you have to disclose it the same on TikTok as well? Do you have to like market ad and everything?
Yeah, you have to market ad, especially like Gymshark like forces you to, like they won't count it if you don't. I think a lot of the other brands don't really police it as much, but I'm sure like TikTok's gonna eventually like try and police that a bit more, that you should disclaim that it's an ad and things like that.
I think in the like guidelines of the ASA, even though it's like ever changing, I think you do legally have to do it. So it's kind of cheeky of brands if they're not following it, they could get themselves in trouble.
Yeah. I definitely disclaim all my ads.
But it kind of works. So like, I guess with TikTok Shop, you can sort of, as long as you've got that product in the like in the video in some sense, like even me just like holding a pen, I can link that below, and it's kind of an ad, but it's kind of not, and people just can click on that and it's fine, right?
Yeah, because then at the top it says like commissionable or something like that, like it.
Yeah, that was like a recent addition, wasn't it, where they've started adding like, is this has got a paid thing behind it?
Yeah.
Something a little bit more lighthearted. Have you ever done anything like embarrassing, a mistake, a setback, something that you kind of wish you'd not done or whatever? Mine, I keep bringing this up in every episode, but I accidentally got my nips out on YouTube once. That was fun. So has there been any kind of occasion like that for you?
So that was quite actually a tough one, because the embarrassing content is what makes good content for me. So if I do something embarrassing, like falling over in the gym or like hurting myself or something, like I'll post that and that will do well. So like people love to see me hurt myself. But in terms of like a mistake or like something that I probably shouldn't have done, I do have this one quick story. Is when I was at Carnival, I think it was 2 years ago now. So, you know, I don't know if I've mentioned it a few times today. But basically I started this trend where I'll like pick up a man and like squat him. And everyone is like, oh my God, because obviously I don't look like I'm that strong. So it does kind of like shock people. So at Carnival, I decided to like pick up this guy. I asked him first and I was like, hi, can I like squat you? Blah, blah, blah. He didn't believe that I could squat him, you know, filmed it, squatted him, posted it on TikTok. And then I got a message from a friend of a friend. And he was like, oh, you need to take that down because he didn't approve it or something. And I was like, well, no, I asked him. He said that I could post it. So I was like, I looked at it. It wasn't even doing like amazing. So I was just like, no one's going to see it. Like, it's fine. And then I woke up the next day and it had millions of views. Everyone was like talking about it. The guy then found my Instagram and started messaging me. He was like, you need to take this down now. My girlfriend didn't know I was at Carnival and I'm going to get in so much trouble. I was just like, what? So then obviously I had to take it down. And do you know how heartbreaking it is to take down a video that's hit 1 million views? Like, it's, yeah, heartbreaking. I'm sorry, but he was stupid, because why would you go to Carnival without telling your girlfriend anyway? Yeah. That was like my one big mistake that that still annoys me to this day, because sometimes, you know, on your search bar for like TikTok and you can see what people are searching about you. So if you type in like Tasha Braziliano, like it always used to come up with Carnival video or like Carnival, and like so many people were like searching for it. But yeah, I had to take it down.
Oh, because he was lying to his girlfriend.
Exactly. It ruined my millions of views. So thanks.
That wasn't your problem. That wasn't your fault.
No.
Imagine the shock. She doesn't know he's there and then he's just getting squatted by this other girl.
Imagine, she would have been living.
Oh dear. Well, I feel sorry for the girl, but not for the guy. It's his fault.
Exactly. You should know better.
So just like going back a little bit, do you know when I've seen online that you've had injuries before,
yes,
where you can't go to the gym. How do you deal with that, especially with posting with like one time a day? Do you like sort of go back and re-find things?
Yeah, so re-finding things is kind of what works. Like I've got so much like I literally have to pay Apple like the max amount for the storage, because I would literally have like 13 minutes worth of like one exercise. So I can like go back and like edit things and find things, but it is quite long to do that. But yeah, so it has been tough with the injuries, because obviously not being in the gym as much, but there's always like different things that I can do. And like I've been doing more like trendy videos rather than like lifting heavy and like squatting men and like doing that stuff. but she's injury free at the moment. So that's
yay.
Because that was honestly like the toughest thing I've ever had to do, is like when you obsess about something so much and you do it every single day, and it obviously helps your mental health so much, and then you just have to stop and you can't do it as much. And it's like, it's not even like your fault. It wasn't even like, I didn't even do anything stupid. It was just, tried something new, didn't do it right, and then bam. But hey, it's fine now. She's injury free. So she's back to squatting men. I actually just squatted someone yesterday, so it's all good.
How do you go about editing then? Do you like batch edit, or do you like edit on a day? Like, do you sit down and take some time after work?
So kind of, it depends. Like sometimes I'll like batch edit and get a few videos out in a while, which is how you should do it, because the way I've been doing it more recently is just like, oh no, it's 12 o'clock, I need to post, and then quickly edit a video, and then I'll do the same thing the next day and not learn my lesson. So yeah, I definitely should do more batch editing, but I definitely do it on the go.
So do you pick a time? Like, is there a time that you prefer to post? You said like 12 o'clock.
Yeah, so I think it's different for everyone, but for me on TikTok, I'll try to always post at 12, and that works for me. And then if I'm doing 2 a day, then I'll do at 9 p.m. as well. But then on Instagram, for me, that's like 6 p.m. when people have finished work, 6 to 7, that's kind of the sweet spot. And then YouTube I haven't quite figured out, because before it was 8 p.m, but then like now it's like getting earlier. So like now sometimes I do 7 p.m. I don't even know if this really helps, to be honest, but that's what I do. And I don't know.
That's what the platforms tell you, doesn't it? Because you can go into your analytics and be like, when are people most online? And then you just sort of pick that. And it just makes sense, I guess, because I'd be more inclined to be like deep diving accidentally on TikTok like late at night when I get in bed. How do you find time to wind down when your job and your hobby is so like intrinsically linked with like being on your phone and being sort of like turned on? Do you like have not turned on, switched on? Do you have like a method of winding down, or is that the gym?
Yeah, I guess so. But then even like at the gym, I'm still like constantly thinking, oh, what content can I make, and how can I make this into a funny video? So I think that's definitely something that I need to work on, is like having that wind down period. And like, because with social media, there's no like off. You don't turn off. It's like, even once you've posted, you're like, okay, let me reply to my comments, or how's this video done, or what should I do next, and like things like this. It's always on. So the only time that I like really wind down is like when I'm with people, and like when I'm with my friends, and like I try not to go on my phone as much. I'm definitely doing better now. Like when I first started, I would literally every 5 minutes be like, how many views has this got? How many likes? Is it doing well? Blah, blah, blah. I would get so obsessed with the numbers and the analytics. But now I'm a little bit less, like more chilled. But yeah, when I'm with people, I definitely try to like chill out just a little bit and like leave my phone, because it's not that deep.
No, but it's quite easy to get like obsessed with the numbers as well, especially like, I guess during lockdown there's so much growth. Have you like struggled with like managing your own expectations a little bit with that? Because I know it's disheartening when you've like thought this idea is going to be like so good, and then you're watching the numbers and it's a bit like, never mind.
Honestly, it's so annoying. And like there's so many different things that like can affect it, right? So you'll put in all this effort to a video and like it won't do well. And then you'll see someone doing exactly the same video and like it will blow up and get millions of views, and you'll just be like, well, what did I do wrong? Honestly, it's like sometimes it can really be like, ugh. But it's way more rewarding. Like the pros outweigh the cons, but they're definitely like challenging. Like it's a full-time job, getting everything done, and then like trying to manage all the numbers and like the analytics. And then obviously you want your ads to do well for the brands, so that the brands will still work with you. And like it's a lot to think about, but yeah, you just kind of have to balance that with like mental health, and remember like, you do need to like chill out a little bit and not be too obsessed.
Do you think your like background in work helps you like understand the analytics, and like is there anything words of wisdom you could pass on, like how you look at your analytics and use that to inform it?
See, that's a good question. I'd like to say that it does. But I think all that it's done is just it's allowed me to see, like, I understand like the terminology, CPA and CPM and like things like that, and like I understand all of that and it all makes sense to me. But I don't know if it's actually really helped me like, figure out what's doing well for me. So I don't know if that's like I don't have any good words of wisdom, but I would just say trial and error, because I feel like that's what like most people do. That's what I've done. I tried something, it worked, so I'm going to keep doing it. Or I tried something, it didn't work, so I'm going to change it. So I think trial and error is probably the most important thing, but I definitely didn't learn that from my 9 to 5. I learned that from just doing it.
Just giving it a go. You've got to like like you say, you've got to see what works. First of all, you want to make sure you're enjoying it. And if it doesn't kind of land right, tweak it, give it that time to sort of settle. Don't just instantly be like, oh, I've uploaded my first video and it's flopped. Everyone hates me.
Exactly. You just have to keep going. Consistency is key. And I love what you said there about like, you have to enjoy it, which is so true. Like, if you're not going to watch your own content, like, don't post it. Like, if you're not enjoying it yourself, like, that's what I do. Like, I would look at it, and if I'm not like smiling whilst I'm editing or like laughing at my own video, then like, I'm just like, okay, this isn't going to do well. Like, you have to enjoy it too.
Have you ever like edited a full video and like just sacked it off because it's not what you thought it was going to be and it was a bit like rubbish?
All the time. I have so many like half edited videos, and I'm like, I'll have an idea in my head and I'll like get my friends to be like, okay, this is my idea. And like, I'll film it all, and then I'll like get into like the editing thing. I'll be like, okay, this actually isn't funny at all. Like, what was I thinking? And then it would just stay there. But then sometimes I'll come back to it like 5 months later and be like, oh my God, this is hilarious. And then I'll post it and it actually does well. So sometimes it's just like perspective.
Yeah, that's interesting that just a few months later you'd revisit, because I'd never do that. I'd be like, right, that's gone. I feel like the further up, especially during shorts, the further up the camera roll it gets on my phone, the less likely it's going to get posted.
Yeah, this is true. It's because of storage, right? I don't know about you. It takes me so long to scroll. And then when you get to the top, it like, you click on it and then it like downloads and then takes 10 hours to download. And it's like, okay, well, there's no point now. So.
Just making the process long, and I'm all about that easy life.
Exactly. Shorts are supposed to be quick and easy.
Yeah, it's not as easy as it looks, is it? Like, when, like, even you're saying like consistency, once a day, I'm like, right, I need to post once a day. You said this to me back in whenever we did that panel months ago. Have I done it? No.
No, honestly. And it's tough to do once a day, to come up with different ideas. But I feel like, Alice, like with your long form videos, there must be so many like short clips that you can make.
Yeah.
One long form video. You just need to sit there and just like I need to do it for you. Just sit there, watch one of your videos, and then just make 100 shorts out of it.
You could actually do that, like an outsider's perspective, and I'll be like, oh my God, I didn't know I was that interesting. I think it's the intrinsic, like, I'm not interesting. No one's going to watch this, so I don't do it. But, you know, that's
you
just
are
how my brain works.
interesting. Don't say that.
Well, thank you, Tasha. So to wrap things up, again, we've kind of answered this a little bit, but is there something that you wish someone would have told your younger self before you got started?
I wish that person would have just told me to start sooner, because I just wish I started sooner. Like, you know, there's so many opportunities out there. And I feel like, well, for me anyway, I didn't start because I just wasn't confident in myself. And I needed to feel confident in myself and to love myself before I was able to like give anything. But I think I always wanted to like do like videos and like PT and like doing all of that stuff. But yeah, it was just insecurities and like fear and everything holding me back, and like even holding me back from the gym. So I think I wish that someone just told me to start. So if anyone's listening to this is me telling you to start, because yeah, you never know where it could take you. Like, I was obsessed with Gymshark before, and like now I'm working with Gymshark. Like, it's just so crazy, like the things that you can achieve when you just like, you know, put yourself out there.
That's amazing. Believe in yourself. You'll never know what will happen unless you just give it a go.
Exactly.
Yeah, and there's going to be some people out there that I guess don't get it. That kind of leads me on to, I was supposed to be the final question, but I've just thought of another insightful question, hopefully. Like, how do you deal with negative reactions? Because I know that for people just starting out, that's a big fear of, but what if people don't like it? Like, how would you react to that?
I get probably, on average, 10 hateful comments a day. Or something, probably even more than that, but like 10 that I see. But I feel like once you love yourself and you start from a place of like, you know, I'm confident in myself, I love myself, like no one can tear you down, in my opinion. And one positive comment for me outweighs like 100 negative comments. So I could just have one person DM me and be like, thank you so much for posting this. This made me feel so much better about going to the gym or something like that. And like, I could just ignore like every horrible comment that I just get because that one person I helped. So I think you just have to focus on the positive, and it will like drown out all the negative. And people are always going to have something negative to say. And especially in the gym, when people are always like, oh, why are you wearing that? Why are you just showing your bum? And like all of this horrible stuff. Like, I get it every single day. But yeah, it's just knowing that I'm helping one person is just enough for me.
That's a good mindset. And again, it'll all go back to you're enjoying yourself. You're not doing anything wrong. You're not hurting anyone. You're having fun. Just do it, right?
Exactly. Just do it.
It's been so good chatting to you, Tash. Thank you so much for joining me again. I hope you've enjoyed it.
I did. This was really cool. My first ever podcast. So thank you.
Yay! You're welcome. I'll leave all Tasha's links and everything in the description so you guys can check her out, and I'll see you next time for another one.